So this is Symplocarpus foetidus. Symplocarpus foetidus, otherwise known as the skunk cabbage. Super sci-fi looking, neat native wildflower here in northern Indiana. This car's driving by, so forgive that. This is our earliest, or one of our earliest blooming wildflowers in Indiana. There's a lot of it here. It's in the Araceae family, the arum family, which often has these hoods. Often, not always, but often has these hoods. I think they stuck duckweed now, the lemnas instead of the lemnaceae in the Araceae, and we'll talk about that sometime, maybe. But anyway, so this is called a spathe. It's a hood that covers up the flowering structure. The flowering structure is a spadex. Let's see if we can get without breaking it open. Let's see if we can get the spadex. It's kind of dark, so I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it. So the spadex is a spike. So a spike is an inflorescence with the flowers attached directly to the stem. So it's a spike, but it's a fleshy stem. So the flowers are attached directly to the stem, to a fleshy stem. And we'll see one that I think the spathe was torn off on a trail. We'll talk about it then. But anyway, so let's back up here and look at these guys because they got better modeling. So the if I could stop moving so much. So this is called the spathe. Again, it's this hood that covers the inflorescence, which you can kind of see actually down in there. Let's just open that without breaking it. You can see it hiding in there. That's that spadex, the inflorescence where the flowers are. And this is purple mottled green, or sometimes green mottled with purple. It comes in a variety of colors. This hood it's open, so unlike some in the arum family where the spathe is sealed, so the insects get stuck, this one's open. And it's set up in a way that the wind can move through it, kind of like a conch shell. I think that's what it's called, a conch shell, that big seashell thing that you put up to your ears. So it's kind of evolved in that structure, and there's a couple reasons why. One is maybe to move the pollen, maybe, and another one is to keep the air movement so it doesn't freeze. So what one of the cool features of skunk cabbage is that it has these big rhizomes, these big underground stems that store a lot of nutrients, and in that nutrients, and look at that spathe, and in the nutrients, it creates this warmth when it's in about February when it wants to grow. So it can raise the temperatures 10 to 15 degrees or more than what it is outside. And by doing that, it can melt the snow around or the ice, but it creates this kind of, it has a stinky smell. That's where foetidus, the word foetidus comes from, fetid. And so it has a stinky smell. It heats up in the cool. So what is it mimicking? It's mimicking a dead animal or something. And so it's got this stinky smell. It's warm, and then it has this cool airflow no matter what direction. See the air? See how it's kind of wraps around? Maybe you can't see it there, but kind of wraps around. So it has this airflow in it, and in this airflow, it kind of helps keep that heat moving so it doesn't freeze again. And so if you're a fly or a carrion beetle and you smell this thing and it's cold and you need to warm up, you come into this thing and pollinate it. Brilliant idea. And so that's the whole dealio with this. And here, let's see if I can't. Let's rotate this a little bit and see if we can't get that spadex again. And these are the leaves. These are the leaves just opening up, about to unfurl. This is kind of oh, here's a good one. This one's kind of closed and then opens up and the leaves unfurl out. So skunk cabbage. So here's a double flowering one, two spathes. Look at these spathes. They look like a warlock's head is coming out of the ground. It looks like, the warlock's coming through the seep from wherever they come. This big hood, super cool. So it's still a little early in the season to see it fully open, and these leaves will get very large. So as they unfurl, these leaves are all basal. You can see here, if you can see here, they're toothless. They're hairless. They can get up to 2 feet long and sometimes over a foot wide. So they can get pretty big elephant ear like things. See, they're just rising up here. See that beautiful plant in all aspects. So yeah, really cool. So there's its leaves, and and this can take over if there's like a circumneutral seep. Sometimes all you see is skunk cabbage coming up, and so. Okay, so sadly, this skunk cabbage has seen better days. This is along a trail, so it looks like this has been picked apart, chewed apart, cut apart. But lucky for us, we get to see what these flowers, and that's these little yellow things. This is just a jam-packed, fleshy, what we call a spadix. And the flowers are all cram-packed in here. You can see they're all cram-packed in here. And at the end of the year, this is going to be that fruit that's kind of that packed clustered of dark chocolate-looking berries that are all smushed together. It looks like a foreign creature. I mean, this looks kind of like you know, a modern plant representation of COVID. You know, but if you look, these little yellow things are the flowers, and these little yellow things are the flowers. And again, you know, we have that hood that usually covers it. That's called the spathe. So these little flowers lack petals, and they're attached to that fleshy spadix. You know, they're attached to that purplish red spadix here. And again, so yeah, that's, you know, it's part of that Araceae, the arum family. And then look at that, we got a fly coming to check it out because, again, you know, it's pollinated by flies and such, and they like the stink, the fetid smell. Thus the name, again, you know, foetidus, skunk cabbage. So that's what the flowers look like. There you go. So we can see here these spathes, they're pretty green. And oftentimes you see the coloration on the spathes are very, very variable. Very, very variable. Like, check that out. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? And this one, you can see the leaf, you know, is unfurling. The leaf is unfurling. Here is seemingly a chlorotic spathe. There's flowers in here, but this is super yellow. I don't know what's going on with this one, but yeah, they come in all different colors, I suppose.